Commanders, welcome back to chapter 3. So something I want to talk about before we start this video is when I'm blabbing around and when I say with the dead air in the video, I'm going to be editing that out. It's going to be jarring because I see here the background music, it's just going to skip. So let me know if you want me to keep doing that or not, comment, let me know. Okay, now that that's out of the way, the first thing I want to tell you guys is this has been brought to my attention, and I want to make sure it's the first thing that I speak about in the video. Is I'm going to go to the recruit tab, and then we're going to go to the ordinary recruit. Now, this has been brought to my attention. I don't do this on my main account, but for the purposes of this account, it's a good idea and good for beginners because it will help you get your SSR units to 3 stars. Now, and that is being the discounted summon. So the discounted summon, I didn't know that you could, get silver mileage tickets because every unit that you do, every unit that you pull on the banner gives you 1 silver ticket. I didn't know that the discounted single summon gave you a silver ticket. So that is worthwhile because you're still building up pity at that point. I would recommend doing that so you don't have to keep going into the 10 pulls and then spending 3k gems every time. Do this, if you do your single summon every day for 10 units, that's 1500. So that's half off, and then you might be able to sneak some SSRs. So I do recommend doing that, but I would stop right when you get 5 SSR units at 3 stars. That's what I would do. So as in my wish list, Privity was already at 2 stars, so I removed her and put Helm in there because you get a free Privity through the day by days mission. So that's what I've been doing. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I mean by 3 stars. These little icons, I call them stars. I don't know what else. I don't know what other people call them, but they look like stars to me. So now we are going to go to the Outpost because this is something that you probably unlocked in chapter 6, and that is the recycling room. Now, the recycling room is another place where you can increase your combat level of all your Nikkes depending on the class that they are. The middle one is general research. That increases the HP of all Nikkes, as you can see right here. Then you have the subclasses, which is attacker, defender, and supporter, depending on what the Nikke's class is. If they're attacker, defender, or supporter, they get a little boost here. As you can see up here, they have HP and defense up here. Now, to unlock these, you need to have right here, it says upgrade to general research to level 5. I saved that just for this video, and then the general research is right here. That's the level that you need to unlock it at. So we're going to unlock it real quick. Boom. We unlocked it. Great. And then down here are the company ones. The company recycle room research. So we're going here, and it says we have to unlock them at level 10. So this is just a company buff for your Nikkes. So it's pretty decent. It gives you a little more combat power for all your Nikkes. So we're just going to go here, and then we'll just level up until level 10 so we can get the company. Yep, now we just unlock all the company boosts. So we'll just unlock here, there, here. Okay, yeah, just, oh my gosh. Here we go, and there we go. Boom. All right, so now we have everything unlocked. I'll upgrade this off screen. I'm not going to bore you guys with this, but this is another way for you to increase your combat level a little bit. Every little does a lot. Yeah, it just starts adding up. Now, I want to talk about the raids in the game. So at chapter 6, I believe it's chapter 620, I believe. And it is great because right now we have a solo raid available to us right now. So what solo raid is endgame content. It tests all units in your account at the time being. The gameplay is essentially, the gameplay that you have been playing, but instead let's just do a mock battle real quick. Actually, we'll just explain what the rewards are. So the rewards are for the cubes that you get in Lost Sector. Now, we're just going to do a mock battle real quick. We're just going to get to the end, and I'll explain in a little bit. So I'll be right back, guys. All right. So I just did an attempt just to show you guys what I want to talk about. So solo raid, what happens in solo raid is that you are allowed 3 attempts per day to take on the boss. Now, each attempt is broken down into 5 teams, so you need 5 teams of 5 Nikke. I do not have a lot of Nikkes on this account. My attempts are going to be very, very limited, but this is why you would want to keep summoning on the banner so you can pull as more SSRs in your, well, have more SSRs in your box. Every attempt that you make, well, every team that you fight the boss, at the end of the round, as you saw, it will invalid the Nikke. So you cannot use those Nikkes until you get to the next level or until the day resets. So that is a negative on the attempts, but it just determines how your team building should be. Like, okay, team 1 is going to be this, team 2, all right, I'm going to build them around this unit. All right, team 3 is going to be this. It does put your team comp skills into play. We haven't really talked about team comp in this series yet. That's going to be a supplement video. I will let you guys know when that will be posted. But that will be a supplement video, team building. Now, we're going to go back here. There's another raid called Co-op Raid. It's essentially you're playing with other players, a team of 5. You're bringing your own Nikke into battle. It's not up, unfortunately, so I can't really show you guys how you queue in, but it's going to appear in your events tab right here. It's going to be the top event. It won't be the bottom event. It'll be right up here. So all you have to do is just queue into the fight. Choose a Nikke. I would recommend maybe just starting off with a burst 1 because everyone doesn't like running burst 1 units or burst 2. So that's probably the units I would recommend you guys to pick. And you have to get through a damage threshold of 3.6 million, I believe, to get the maximum amount of broken cores, which is the co-op currency for that run. You have 3 runs per day. So that is what I'd recommend you guys doing. And depending on how high you place, you will get a reward depending on that. Right here, as you can see up here, I have my cores, my broken cores here. This is my placement reward. It takes about maybe a week after co-op is done to get your placement rewards. So it's going to be, there's going to be a little bit of a lag of you getting your points. But you could use these as I showed you guys in the earlier video in the cash, well, in the cash shop or whatever shop, the general shop. And you can go down here and then you have the recycling shop right here. I recommend you getting the gems. You could get these tickets, these vouchers. You don't have to get this one over here. This one is pretty universal, but I do recommend getting the company vouchers and the company tickets. I recommend getting the core dust sets, and that's pretty much it, because the credit case and the battle data case, it's pretty easy to get. Well, credits and battle data is pretty easy to get. Core dust cases are going to be the harder materials to get. So now we're going to be talking about Union Raid. It has the same concept as the co-op raid and the solo raid. You're going through 10 levels. Each level has 5 bosses, and you and your guild or your clan, whatever you want to call it, your group, are going to be fighting the bosses at this point. Now, the bosses, depending on how high the level is, you know, level 1, the bosses aren't going to have as high HP, so they're going to be fairly easy to get through. But the higher you get in the levels in your Union Raid, the more HP they're going to have. So it is very important that your union is active. A lot of members in your union are active, so they could help through that Union Raid. It's essentially the same format as solo raid, where you are allowed to run 5 teams, but the thing is, you are only allowed 3 attempts per day. So if you quit in the middle of it, that's your attempt, and that's done. So I recommend you using mock battle to test out, okay, this team is good on this boss, I'll use this team. So it is very important using the mock battle feature. It will save you a lot of heartache going forward. Now, we're gonna go to the Rehabilitation Center. That's the next thing we're going to be talking about. That should have unlocked at chapter 520. So we're gonna just go here. We're gonna be skipping the story event because I already know. You are allowed 3 Nikkes. You get another one unlocked later on in the chapters past chapter 20. But we're gonna be talking about these main 3. Now, these Nikkes are free-to-play Nikkes that you can get. This is Guilty, this is Sin, and this is Quincy. I highly recommend you going for Guilty first because she is the best out of the 3 available. She's a burst 2 that is a really good DPS. So I do recommend you going for Guilty. After you do Guilty, you could do Quincy and then Sin, or Sin and then Quincy. Doesn't really matter, but I do highly recommend you go for Guilty first. So we're going to do this. No, not that. There you go. There you go. Rehabilitate. Awesome. So to unlock the Rehabilitation Nikke, you have to get up to 3.6 points, or rehabilitation points, whatever you want to call it. And then these coincide with your dailies. Now, it might just have different dailies depending on what it refreshes to. You might just say, hey, clear interception, or right here, purchase items in the comment shop 3 times. So it's like your dailies, but there might be a little extra step in between them. You would have to go and check them yourselves because they always reset every day. You could hit this little refresh icon that costs gems. I do not recommend doing it, but if you want the unit fast, you could do it. Be my guest, but I highly recommend you do not do it. As you can see, I have completed some of them. So there you go. Now I got 30 points. Each of these are markers. They will unlock, and then you will get gems through these little checkpoints. Another thing I recommend is once you start on a Rehabilitation Center Nikke, you should not switch to another Rehabilitation Nikke until you get through one of these checkpoints. Because let's say if I get 100 points here, if I don't reach one of these checkpoints, like at 180 or 360, and I'm just like in the middle, it will reset you back to that checkpoint. So let's say if I get let's just say over here, I get 700 points. If I want to switch to Quincy, I switch to Quincy, do hers a little bit, then come back to Guilty. I will start at 360. So that is a waste of points in my opinion. So I recommend you doing one and done, going all the way through. And that's why I recommend Guilty. I highly recommend you just doing one at a time. So now that that's out of the way, another avenue where you can get your resources is the event story. Right now we have the Maid, Private, and Aid story at the moment. So this is another avenue of where you could get resources. So challenge is gonna be a little difficult for you at first. I can't do it currently at my account. What they do is that they level gate you on every stage in this challenge event. I can't clear stage 1, but you will be able to clear this as you progress through the game and through this guide. So as of right now, you don't have to worry, but each stage has, as you can see, a first time clear. And then down here are your first time clear rewards. Very important that you get your recruit tickets and your gold molds right here. Super important because we're going to be talking about that towards the end of the video. And then sometimes they have a mini game for the story event. This one is just pushing cakes and rapture cakes on the conveyor belt. I highly recommend doing mini games because you do get daily rewards, and then depending on the mini game, you get accumulated awards. So you see, I haven't reached the target score yet. This accumulates every time you play the game, or every time you play the mini game. So you can do it all in one day, but I just recommend you guys doing it every day because that is a lot of time to be sitting down and just playing. And this is where we could talk about the reward boost Nikkes. So every event stage has certain Nikkes that you can put on your team to increase the chance of getting reward boost. Now, it only goes up to 100%. Sadly, you can't push it past 100%. If you don't have 100%, you get around 60. That's every time you run the event, you get this certain percentage of this drop over here, up here. So that's the event currency, or the event drop currency. So I do recommend try to put as many Nikkes on your team to reach 100%. So you get a drop every time you clear a event stage. Now, I have unlocked all, besides hard mode, it gets unlocked in 4 days. But I have unlocked all the stages besides 12. But the one that I do recommend you guys for resource management is the 11th stage, 111, because they drop core dust. Very important for you guys to farm this. You guys get 5 attempts per day. You guys could do that if you want to. I recommend you guys doing 111, stage 11, because you get your core dust. And then once hard mode unlocks, if you're able to do hard mode, because I'm not gonna lie, the combat power is pretty high at this point in time in your account creation. I have 1,000 combat power deficit. I can't really clear them with the Nikke I have right now. That's fine. The most important stage is 111, because of core dust. And then through these event currencies, you can go back here. Well, as you clear the stages, you go through your missions, you get more of these event currencies. And then you actually get a nice little wallpaper for yourself. Pretty nice. Do say so myself. Now, we're going to the shop. So the shop, it's another thing I don't recommend is these attempts for the story event, and it costs gems. Like I said, what I'm getting at is I wouldn't recommend this because it's premium currency unless you're a spender, which if you're a spender, go ahead. But the purposes of this account and this guide is to maximize all your gem usage. I do not recommend this, but I do recommend getting the vouchers, the rainbow vouchers, rainbow tickets, or the blue tickets through your event currency. So I do recommend doing that. Do your dailies, do your 5 attempts per day, get your event currency, come to the shop, and you're good to go. To get all 10 of the either ticket, it's 4,000 event currency, and then after that, you could get your skill manuals, very important. Then you could get your core dust. Then you can get these, the consoles. These increase the level of your recycle room company levels, the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. These gives a little boost so you can increase your combat power. Every little does a lot. Then after you get everything here, probably won't get everything here. And if it's your first story stage, around your 3rd event story, you should be able to clear out the event shop. Now, this is going to be another section. Let's say if you're stuck at campaign and you can't go any further, it's going to happen, unfortunately. I'm on chapter 8 right now. I'm like, I want to increase my outpost defense level, but I can't because the stage is too hard. Well, what you can do is you could go back into the previous stages and you could clear out the EX stages. These have locked levels. These have locked levels for your Nikkes. So they, as you can see right here, the lock level is at 80. And it's essentially a regular stage, but you have to manual the stage, meaning that you have to play the game actively. But if you once you clear the stage, it unlocks one of the 5 stage clears campaigns. Players required to level up your outpost level. So I do recommend doing them. And then when you do actually clear the stage, you get 300 gems. So it's not that bad. You just have to manual. Depending on your playstyle or the units you have, it might be difficult. That's one way of getting more gems and increasing your defense level. It's done at any time. There's no rush to do it. It's something you can come back to. And then, as you saw right there, you're able to click hard mode. Now, hard mode also, as you clear the battles, as you see here, this also counts towards your outpost defense level. And then in hard mode, they also have EX stages. So like I said, don't worry, EX stages will not go away. You do not have to do them at this moment. If you cannot clear them, don't worry about it. So we're going back here, and another source, well, another resource you can do right as you start accumulating Nikkes in your Nikke roster, you could go to your messages right here, and then every new Nikke will message you and say, hey, Commander XYZ, we could just talk with Roppy. I'll show you. Yeah, show me a time. Yeah, and all the time, Roppy. Bother me all the time. Go ahead. There you go. Yep. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You talk so much, Roppy. I'm trying to show the good people what to do. All right, there you go. Now you get affection points towards your advise level. It's very important because it's just 100 free. You don't have to use your advisors. A few days when you first get the Nikke, they will continue to message you for the next few days. But every time they message you, you can talk with them, and then they will give you a gift at the end for advising to increase their rank. Depending, they could give you like a regular ticket or a high value ticket, depending on how you answer. Like in the advise role, when you do the advise to increase their rank, they will give you a ticket depending on how well you answer. That's what I do recommend as well, doing these, because it's just, every little does a lot, like I've been saying throughout this video. And I've saved this for the end, so we are gonna go to the shop because we're gonna be talking about the gold molds. Oh my gosh, gold molds are very important. If you've been summoning, if you have unlocked your wish list, and if you've been doing your challenge missions, your challenge tabs, you've been getting these gold molds. I have a 150. I have not used any of them, but these are another source of just getting SSRs. It's another pity system without being an actual pity system. But we are going to show you my wish list. I don't recommend always summoning. You want to make sure that you could use your gold molds. Gold molds have a 61% chance of dropping as a dropping on SSR, and then a 39% chance. Purple molds, they're like a 30% chance. Right here. Oh, 21% chance of dropping on SSR. So let's say if you're getting shafted on the ordinary recruit banner, you could go to the shop, and then you could redeem these gold molds. It's essentially another it's essentially another reroll. You're allowed access to all Nikkes besides limited units. So anything within the general pool, you're able to pull in this mold, in both molds actually. So I do recommend doing this. So we're going to do this real quick. Let's see what we get. We probably got a decent amount. All right, Tetra, who is it? It is Leon. Okay, Leona. All right, that's not bad. And Tetra, okay. Who else did we get? Rupee. Oh. Okay. Oh, those are the only two SSRs we got. 61% chance, guys. So, as I got these Nikkes, now I'm going to go back to the wish list, and then I'm going to update my wish list to put. We could get rid of. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to push Maxwell off, and then I'm going to put. Oh, this is. Oh, I am stupid. So they're both Tetra. I'm going to drop. Yeah, Dollar and Volume, unfortunately. And then we're going to put Rupee and Leon because those are the units that we have. We're going to be building our dupes so we could have 3 stars on them so we can get past the 160 wall. 160 wall, don't worry about it, guys. Not yet, because you should be around level 80. Floating around level 80 to level 100 in the next video. Well, in the next chapter, we'll be talking more about the 160 wall. So don't worry about it right now. Just through those gold molds, if you get an SSR, doesn't matter who it is, you're going to come back here and then you're going to update your wish list. So if you do pull on this banner and you get an SSR, you're able to pull dupes for them. So remember, you want 5 SSR Nikkes at 3 stars. And then after that, you could just go to the synchro device and just put them in your synchro device. I believe that's everything that I want to talk about right now. That's everything that you guys should be worrying about at this point in time. Like I said, next chapter, we'll be talking about the 160 wall and everything else that is pertaining to that. That's going to be its own video. I'm going to take this time to talk about what I talked about in the beginning of the video, where I'm going to be cutting out the dead air and then me saying I'm going to be cutting that out. Well, I'm not cutting that out. I'm going to be shortening it like I did now. Like but I'm going to be shortening it. It's going to be jarring at first because the music is just going to have a jump cut in the middle of it. If you guys don't like that, let me know. Put it in the comments saying, hey, I'd rather you just talk about it. And if you fumble, you fumble. The supplement videos will be coming out. If you guys have any ideas for supplementary videos that I can talk about, like, hey, you know, one of the videos that I am going to be doing as a supplement video is team comp. So if you guys have anything more outside of team comp, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'll get around to doing them. If you guys made it to the end of this video, thank you. Appreciate it. So I'm going to stop wasting your time. Thank you for watching the video. If you guys haven't done so, please consider liking the video, subscribing for more content like this and more supplement videos. The last video I posted up, it should be up in a second, but the last video I posted is me summoning 4 Privity, made Privity on my main account. If you guys like that, if you guys would go to that video, like it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm going to that video, and yeah, that is going to be it for today. Well, for this video, thank you all for being here. Y'all are awesome. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in chapter 4. Until then, have a good one, guys. Bye 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 bye.